Welcome back, everyone, to Mental Skills with CFC Academy. My name's Eric Panzer. Today is the fifth and final session. Today's session is focused on weekly planning. Just a little bit of overview for the session focus. So we're going to look at your weekly habits, the key areas around nutrition, hydration, sleep, things like that. Your weekly habits are big influences of performance in the classroom, performance just at home in social situations, performance at training, in games, things like that. All your habits throughout the week build up and they build on top of themselves and they will impact your performance. So it's really important that we shed some light on these and you can reflect and review your week and see what areas you can improve upon and what things you might need to adjust to help you improve your performance. So the outcome of this session is to hopefully help you understand what you need or what you require to perform at your peak more often. Some simple reflection questions to get started. So think about, what does your week look like? Do you have a healthy balance across crucial areas, or are you overextending yourself in some areas? So just something to think about. You'll get the chance with the worksheet to really answer these questions, but take a moment right now to just think, what does my week look like? Do I live a healthy life with good sleep, nutrition, hydration, training, studying, things like that? It's very important to have a healthy balance across all formats of your life. They all impact your well-being, your performance, things like that. So ensuring that there is this balance in the various areas that are really crucial to your life and your well-being and performance is so important. And that's what we'll be focusing on, is building healthy habits. They impact how you perform each day at school, in training, and simply in life. That performance is a result of your daily habits, your sleep, your nutrition, your hydration, your training, and the amount of study. They all build up to your performance and how you'll perform. So focusing on these and developing good habits around these will help you live a healthier life, and living a healthier life will improve you mentally and physically, and with enhanced mental and physical development and focus, you'll be able to perform better. So living a healthier life will give you a greater chance to perform in areas like school and like sport. So start off with sleep. It is suggested that during youth and teenage years, you get 8 to 10 hours per night of sleep. That is not 8 to 10 hours of being in bed. That is 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Why? The body is developing physically, it's developing emotionally, it's developing mentally. And in youth and teens, you're facing so many different challenges. And because of these challenges and because of this development also, all that development requires energy, and sleep restores the energy that you need to take on these challenges and focus and engage with the life you're living. So it's really important to ensure that you've got a healthy sleep habit and consistent sleep so that you can continue to give your energy each day in the right ways, and you can face challenges each day without becoming overwhelmed. You had a webinar earlier this year based on nutrition, and that is where I suggest you take most of your information from. I've included it here because nutrition plays a huge role in mental performance and mental development. It plays a massive role in things such as focus and concentration and behavior, and all of that plays into performance. So nutrition is key. My suggestions is eating a balanced diet, consuming lots of fruits and vegetables, legumes, clean meats, grains, healthy carbs, and avoiding added sugar and processed foods as best you can. um, Added sugar, processed foods, that can impact moods depending on the stage of male or female development. It plays a role in hormones as well. And so physical growth requires healthy nutrition. And as youth and teenagers, you're in a high growth period in your life. And so it's important that with high growth comes the appropriate nutrition to feed that growth, so you're growing healthily as well. And it's also important that the brain gets healthy nutrition, because the brain is working hard in school, in social situations, at training. And for the brain to be able to process and make decisions and act, it requires clarity. And having a clear mind is a benefit of having a healthy diet. Hydration. It's another one that's really important, um, to replenish all that's lost through sweat and general bodily requirements each day. If you are hydrating yourself with high sugar drinks, I suggest that it doesn't dominate your hydration. I suggest that water is the first and the top hydration that you have. But if you do consume high sugar energy drinks, that they aren't dominating your hydration, because some can be very detrimental, certainly at younger ages as well, just simply the sugar content. Why is hydration so important? Well, water has so many functions in the body, especially in performance. Dehydration can have severe negative impacts both on mental and physical performance. So if you are trying to perform mentally in the classroom, or even perform mentally on the soccer field, you need to be hydrated, because becoming dehydrated, it can lead to a lack of clarity and lack of thought process. So it's really important that you're replacing all the water lost every single day, whether it's through physical activity or just general requirements. Studying. This is very important. Having a healthy brain is to have a healthy brain. Studying. This is really important. To have a healthy brain, it's important that it's active. Making sure that you're thinking and you're using your brain and it's working every single day. It doesn't have to be overthinking and being overly used, but it's very important that the brain is active. And why? Because it's important for your health and development that you're thinking and that you're having to make decisions and that you're having to process information. The other side of it is if you have an active brain, you're able to respond to pressure moments or in pressure moments. You have the ability to focus and perform when required if your brain is more active more often, and more active and more often in situations where it is called upon to perform. So having an active brain will help you when pressure comes, because you're used to consuming information and processing and making decisions and things like that. Now, this is really important, especially for athletes, for any youth athlete. Training load each week is so important to mental and physical health. Finding the right balance as to how much training a child is doing, versus how much rest and recovery they're getting. We all want our kid to be the next Alex Morgan or Cristiano Ronaldo. Not everyone. Many people would love for their child to become the next Cristiano Ronaldo or the next Alex Morgan, but it's very important that that isn't the amount of training that one is doing does not oversee the physical and the mental pressure that is put on a child by overtraining. So a rule of thumb that I have been suggested, you don't have to follow it, but the age that one person is the amount of training hours per week. So say you're 12 years old, you can train 12 hours per week. That's not 12 hours of soccer per week plus 12 hours of tennis per week plus 6 hours of basketball per week. That's 12 hours of physical training and games per week, total, all sports. Why? Too much training can lead to burnout and disinterest in the sport. So the mental effects of burnout, of not enjoying what they're doing, the physical burnout of not being able to fully recover between sessions, and therefore stunting the physical development and growth of a youth, is so important that we find a good balance, and that there is still a level of engagement, and that there is no overtraining of the athlete. So the worksheet, it will allow you to monitor a week of yours. You'll be able to go through each day and fill in what you did during that day. But also on the right hand column, you'll be able to go through and fill out how much sleep you got, how much training you did that day, how much study or active brain work you did that day, whether your nutrition was good, whether your hydration was good. And what you can do is reflect honestly each day. And after a whole week has passed, then you can review that and see, okay, here I'm seeing some behaviors and habits that are quite regular in each day of mine. These are some areas where I can improve in, or these are some areas that I can reduce in. So reflecting for a whole week and seeing where you're at will give you a great place for you to circle some improvement areas that could have a big influence on your performance and just simply on your well-being and your health each day and each week. So it's a great task, and it's a great tool for you to reflect and monitor what you're doing each week, seeing whether or not you're hitting sleep goals, seeing whether or not your hydration or your nutrition is consistent, or if it's going up and down, things like that. It just gives you a greater idea of where you are, because as I mentioned earlier, doing this, what we're trying to achieve here by planning out your week is focusing on what you can do each day, each week to perform at your peak. And so when you're reviewing, it's really important to find areas that you think are in requirement of improvement, so that you can get closer to your peak performance each week through this. It's a great way for you to see what is helping you each week to perform and what is hindering your performance each week. And if we take it another step further, once you've done this for your week and you've got those solid habits down, your sleeping, your food, your nutrition, your hydration, your studying, your training, you can build off that, and we can do some more sports specific things. So if we're looking at soccer specific, you can add in potentially stretching and yoga, or video review session, or personal performance review, or maybe some mental meditation, different things like that will help you to, once again, improve your performance to get closer to your peak performance. So it's really important that you get the basics down first, and you focus on, I'm getting the right amount of training per week, my nutrition is good, my hydration is good, I'm getting good sleep each week, I'm doing good amounts of study each week. And then you can be like, where's some more areas that I could really improve my performance in? And that can be more specific to soccer. As always, the worksheets, they're just guidelines. And I hope throughout this whole process that you've been using a notebook, whether it's a training journal or whether it's just sheets of paper. But I hope you've had a way that you're able to expand your thoughts past the worksheets. Worksheets are great guidelines, but often you can use that worksheet for multiple things. So that's why it's more of a guideline, and you can take the questions from there and then transfer them to a different sheet of paper. And the same goes with this. You might do 1 week on the worksheet, and then you start filling in your training journal each day, reflecting on what you did each day and those targets you're trying to meet. And then you start to incorporate all your more specific soccer things that you feel like are really important to you performing. If you've made it this far through all the mental skills sessions for CFC Academy, thank you. I hope it's been a valuable process for you. This has just been a baseline session in terms of all these sessions that you've had. They're all baseline. Mental performance dives a lot deeper and gets into really smaller places in terms of focusing on certain elements of performance. But at the age that most of the kids in the academy are, this baseline is just great for you to understand where you're at. If you have any questions, please contact your coach or your manager to get in touch with me, and I'd be willing and happy to help out in any way I can. And I look forward to you seeing progress on and off the field thanks to these sessions, and good luck.